Good morning, gang. It's Turbo Tuesday in the 55 plus family. And of course, that means we're going to talk about the fitness pillar. Fabulous to go in and see what all of you are doing with your fitness pillar. And then even those that have posted questions, those that have posted just transparency on where they're at, I'm going to share two of them with you and step into the app, kind of explain a little thought process, because one was specifically asking the question. Sheila Marie on Sunday had a fabulous post where she was sharing. She now has dialed back to energy 2.0, which of course is the blue diamond, right? She's gone back to that because she said she was in the intermediate. She upped into the intermediate workouts, found it caused limping and setbacks for her. So in her post, you guys, she's asking, anybody have any thoughts about that part of her journey? And so obviously I'd love for you to go to that or even put a message here to her. I'm going to share some thought process as well, Sheila, on how I would answer that using the app. Then we also had someone in our family who many of you know, Jake Order. And Jake was just sharing how he has placed himself back. He purposely set himself back to beginners. And he had shared, leave your ego at the door. I'm returning to the beginner program and the diamond dozen. I love your jokes you put about the diamond dozen, by the way, Jake. But anyhow, and of course, Jake's been doing this for 5 years. But why is it that he knew now was a good time? And many of you heard him. He was on our physical therapy panel, one of them that was in April. And of course, Jake has a back challenge and Jake knows it. So he's modifying as he needs to, you guys. That's actually everything to do with the Turbo Tuesday. Your fitness pillar is about how do you need to modify to fit where you're at. And another cool thing in Jake's sharing on, and I think that was a Sunday post that you did as well, Jake. He shared on his days off, he's going to add power cuffs in. But that makes perfect sense for Jake because he had been doing weightlifting before. So now you shift over. If you were already doing weightlifting before, power cuffs are a great way to go because now with Jake's back issues, he can be using a lot lighter weights, real light weights with the power cuffs and be able to get the same style of breakthroughs without any of the damage to his back. So thank you for sharing that thought process you were doing, Jake. And I'm going to go on now. I want to quickly share and answer some things really. Sheila, you represent a whole lot of other people that ask that question. What do I do when I hit this wall, right? So one thing, of course, I will put a link below today. So you're seeing it on the screen right now. For any of you that want to go to the locator map that's on the DDPY website, you can find a trainer, a certified DDPY training class in your area, or maybe an area that you're going to be taking a vacation to this summer, whatever. You can put it in a zip code. It'll pull up where there are certified trainers in your area, and you can go to one of those classes and maybe even be able to attend them on a regular basis. That will help because it's always helpful if we can see hands-on, either you right with us or videos that you've recorded of your workouts, and we can look at those and know exactly what we're seeing and dialogue with you on it. So that's a really great option, Sheila. I would encourage you to do. Okay, and the power of good questions, Sheila, you got it right here because you put that question out there. Ironically, I was able to match up Jake Order's post, which was a lot of the very same things you were asking about. Jake himself already figured out. He himself stepped back to the beginner workouts, knowing that that was a much better move for him right now with the adversity he's facing. So in the upper right corner, you're seeing we always have the choice, right, to the different programs that are available on the app. Now I'm going to take you guys onto the app and show you how the thought process works there. Okay. So you're on your landing page. I say it all the time. You can either log in from your phone, an iPad, or a computer. Whatever size object or convenience you need in that object, you're going to be on to your virtual office. And in this case, your program, the second one across, is the program that I'm in, right? So you can click on that program. And in my case, mine is actually custom because because it is, right? But either way, all the programs run with a 13-week concept, right? So they're all running with 13 weeks to them. Okay. But up here in the right corner, you see the word custom. That's because I choose every workout I'm going to be doing every single day. But however, the first year I began on January 20th, 2022. I didn't know enough to color that far out of the lines of what I needed. I chose what mattered. Okay. So there are programs. If you know for a fact that you're really limited to the mobility of being even in a bed, there are workouts specifically to bed. Then if you know that you're, say, a wheelchair or a chair limitations, then there are chair force ones, right? And then there's chair to becoming standing. And it's really important, you guys, to understand all these levels, because twice in my first year, I had 2 setbacks, 2 accidents that happened. One was in the driveway, just blowing leaves, and somehow I tripped my flip-flop on my shoes. I tripped over a cord and went flying back. I ended up back to the chair, right? So it doesn't matter if you have to go back. What matters is you get a really good fit for where you're at. And I worked my way right back up, right? Another time I had a knee lock up during that first year. I had to go back to the bed exercises for 24 hours. Then I started to work back to chair, etc. Okay. So be very much aware of these. But Sheila, when you're talking, and of course, it's the Stand Strong series where you're now standing up. Now we have all of the PT, physical therapy ones. If you have any kind of an issue with that in one of those areas, I would encourage you to at least put on one a day that hits specific that target, right? And I know Jake Order has back challenges. He's probably still added that into his routine because those are targeting the very area. I sure do it with my knees because it's targeting the area that you have the need, right? Okay, so now we're looking. So even at beginner, Sheila, you do understand there's beginner and then there's beginner plus. The beginner plus is where you want to start if you're just getting into fitness and want fewer days off. The beginner plus isn't harder than the original beginner. It simply adds more workouts during the week, pushing your consistency to new levels. So think of beginner plus as the personal conditioning plan, preparing you to move up in your ability level. Okay. And you already said you did intermediate, Sheila, and you caused limping and setbacks. So here's the thing. Is intermediate a bad choice for you? I can't answer that for you because possibly you are a good fit for intermediate, except for you need to do more modification within that program, right? So if confused, you did the exact safest move was to leave intermediate, Sheila, and then you went back down to beginner, and hopefully you went back just to beginner plus, right? Because you don't need, when you're a beginner, you have more days off. It's just a easier play. But if you've already done beginner, stay in beginner plus, Sheila. And as soon as you feel like you can move from beginner plus over to intermediate, that's great. But it still is always going to be about modifying. We modify within these programs. Now, would I say to all of you to pick one of these programs if you're struggling? I would say absolutely, I would. And I say that because all of these programs, and my first year, so in 10 months, 80 pounds, 77 inches, got all my mobility back. You guys, I didn't know enough. I hadn't formally exercised in 25 years at that point. I didn't know enough to shift around in the app. I started with actually the chair ones are where I started, even though I had an accident, went to bed. But anyhow, so bed to chair, chair to stand, then to beginner. So I worked my way up because each 13-week section offers a plan that ramps you up in a way, right? It's already put in place to give you the answers that you might not even know to ask. So those are profound. Unless you can get to one of us at a location that are doing the training, we can see hands-on with you and begin to work with you face to face or with videos of you showing us exactly what's going on. The safest way for every single one of you is to pick a program that's in there. And I need you to know the program doesn't mean you can't color outside the lines. The program just puts a structure in place. Then like tomorrow or tonight, there's going to be at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, there's going to be a brand new workout in the app. And Marcel, who's one of us in the 55 plus, is in on the stage with DDP and Paige, his wife. The three of them, you can see them on camera. I would do that one tonight. You might have to modify it a ton, but I like supporting something that someone in our 55 plus is doing, right? So I would click it on today, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on your app. It'll be live. Minimally, if it really is too far above your spot that you're at, just enjoy watching it, you guys. When you get to the end of a workout, and you're about to check out, there's a tiny little check mark that you can uncheck if you don't want to record the workout because you didn't actually do the workout, you wanted to watch the workout. So it doesn't have to be recorded, setting up in your office. If you really didn't do it, definitely uncheck that mark so that you're not marking it that way. But I would encourage you to know that there are all kinds of workouts. You can pop them into your program without, at least you have structure in place, and then you add what you want. And if you find something in that particular 13-week program that you didn't care for, just delete that particular workout. Every time it comes up saying, nope, not doing that one. That's completely okay, but it's really helpful. And Sheila, I'm so proud of you. Great question. Those of you that want to answer that, what would you do? She does say she doesn't have any other health challenges. It's just she's feeling some of the pain of going into the intermediate, so she dropped back down. I think it was a pretty smart move. Always, it's like DDP himself, Coach Diamond Dallas Page, always says, modify. Listen to your body, modify, do what you need to do. So proud of you all. We will talk to you tomorrow on Wellness Wednesday. There's a few people that have been posting recipes too. Oh my word. I love it when you guys do photos of the foods that you're making at home. Love it. So have a great Tuesday, you guys. Hopefully you will do the live workout tonight that launches on your app. Have a good one. Love you.